Don't be fooled by the latest fad diet or influencer. Dieting sucks. Eating food is amazing, and being hungry is terrible. I just finished a 14-week cut. The results were great, but I didn't have a great time. That's just how it goes. Complaining aside, let me give you 6 strategies that can make your next diet a little more bearable. 1. Leverage high volume, low calorie foods. The key here is size. Think foods that are literally volumetrically bigger. So replace rice with potatoes, cereal with oatmeal, and try to consume as many vegetables and fruits as you possibly can. Fiber is your friend. Water-dense foods are your friend. You'll still be hungry, but if you've been chasing that feeling of fullness, high-volume foods will give it to you. 2. Avoid really tasty, highly palatable foods. This may seem counterintuitive. After all, you're not eating a lot. Shouldn't the meals you eat count? Well, the thing is during a diet, your willpower is going to be tested. It's going to be really hard to put down the fork at any point. That's the thing, when you've been dieting for a while and you're really hungry, you're often actually at your hungriest as you're finishing a meal because your body has realized that there's food around and it kind of lets you be hungry. And so if that food happens to be really tasty, it's going to be very hard to put it down. And plus, the truth is, if you've ever been really hungry, an apple will taste like candy. Corn will taste like sweets. You don't actually need those highly palatable foods because you're going to be hungry enough that the normal stuff will taste good. Tip number 3, eat similar meals every day and keep foods that are off plan outside the house. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to have an overly restrictive diet. You don't need to go carnivore or keto or vegan or whatever. But I am saying that your diet should be based around a few key meals that you can repeat every day. Now, me personally, I kind of live like a robot and I eat the same meals every day, but you don't have to do that. Just pick 3 to 4 core meals that you can rotate in and out and make sure that those are the only foods in your house. Worst case scenario, if you wake up in the middle of the night starving and you cheat, what are you going to have? A Greek yogurt? You'll be fine. As long as you keep those off-plan foods out of the house, you won't ever have to test yourself and it'll be much harder to cheat. 4. Diet slowly. If you try to adhere to too steep of a caloric deficit, you'll break. You'll be too hungry and weak. If you're new to dieting and you've never done this before, the most you want to lose is 0.5% of your body weight per week. For most people, that's going to be about a pound, maybe a little bit less. And that's still a rather steep caloric deficit. Now, if you've dieted a few times and you really understand the mechanisms of it, you can diet more aggressively. But I will tell you, natural bodybuilders who are basically the leanest people on the whole planet, they tend to diet for a really long time. A typical natural bodybuilding prep can be 20 weeks, 26 weeks, even longer. Those guys diet slowly because they don't have drugs to keep muscle on their frame, and they're doing their utmost to keep as much muscle as possible. So if you're new to this, stick to a gradual deficit, take your time, and you won't feel nearly as hungry and tired. 5. Implement cardio, up your steps, and keep moving. This is really important for smaller individuals. If you're someone whose caloric needs are already pretty low, you're going to have to do cardio. Otherwise, your intake is going to get so scant that you're just going to feel terrible. You might even develop micronutrient deficiencies. Cardio doesn't have to be exhausting. It doesn't have to be arduous. I mostly recommend low-intensity, steady-state list cardio. Things like elliptical or incline treadmill at a pace where you could still actually have a conversation, though you'd be breathing hard. That kind of cardio won't tire you out, but it will let you burn more calories, which will let you eat more food. And generally speaking, most people will have better body composition if they're able to actually take in more food throughout a diet. So do your cardio, burn those calories, and then you can eat more and still look great. Lastly, the most important thing you can do to succeed in your diet is to embrace the suck. Embrace the despair that is dieting. Dieting is hard. There's no way around it. If you lie to yourself, if you try to trick yourself, if you try to convince yourself you won't have to put in work, you'll fail because diets are work. So if you can embrace that and walk headfirst into the darkness, you'll be better able to emerge unscathed. Thanks for watching. If you can implement these tips and strategies, you're far more likely to succeed in your next diet. Good luck.